Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on the campus of Hollis Hand School, sitting with the principal, Mr. Jack Mormon. Jack, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. I'm glad that y'all are here on Hollis Hands campus.
That's right. Well, you know, Jack, I heard about all the hype and some things were going on over here, and I know that our educational system is doing a wonderful job with all of our kids, but I know that this week you all are kind of focusing on some science, and the kids are putting their hands to the paper and pencil and kind of drawing out some things and just laying out stuff. Talk a little bit about what's going on and what's going to be the outcome.
Sure. Well, this is our science fair we're getting ready for. Right now, kids from kindergarten all the way to 5th grade have been putting together science projects. In the beginning of January, we send out a form, and we give kids an opportunity to sign up and register. There's no requirement from their classroom. They don't have to do it. This is a voluntary thing, and the kids work together with their families to put on these science fair projects. And tomorrow night, we'll have our big science fair. Parents will come in, they'll see the projects. We'll have Huckleberry's barbecue out here. That'll be great. They'll be able to eat here, and or you can actually take some of that home. And our book fair is going on as well. It's a PTO meeting, so we got a lot of stuff going on in one night here, and of course the science fair is the star.
Oh, okay. So basically, Huckleberry's barbecue. Now you said that's tomorrow night.
You can swing on by.
Oh, okay. It's guest invited.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Very good. Well, you know, you're talking about science fair, and the viewing audience can see some of the science projects that are behind us. Talk a little bit about how these science projects came together, because I know that as I was kind of walking around, I saw kindergarten first. Talk about the grade levels that you all have here.
We, of course, we teach the scientific method, really all the way from kindergarten through 5th grade. The idea of coming up with a problem or a question, something you want to find out, doing some research on it, coming up with a hypothesis, what do you think might happen, then coming up with a procedure, how can I find out the answer to that question, doing that procedure, getting the data or the results, and then forming a conclusion off of that. So we really teach that as a common standard really throughout the whole school. And the science fair is a chance for the kids to actually explore that on their own and also with their families. So a kindergartner might have a question of their parents and ask that question, and maybe a cute one I saw this year, do cats are they right-pawed or left-pawed like people are right-handed or left-handed? So it's a neat little question. I would never have asked that question. Right. They asked their parents, and they came up with a procedure, and they went through that process of trying to find out the answer to that question, all the way up to 5th grade projects. And there's some really good science that's going on, but it is a chance for the children to explore science, to investigate, to do some research, to come up with that that hypothesis, do the research themselves, do all the experiments, come up with that data, and then try to figure out what's the answer and what's the conclusion. Absolutely.
You know, as I was walking around a few moments ago, I ain't got an opportunity to look at all of them just yet, but the two that I looked at, one was pop, 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 and walking on eggshells. And you know, they have it, as you say, they have their hypotheses there, and they got what they want to try to find out. Then they have pictures to kind of document it, and it was kind of funny. I saw the kid standing on the eggshell, like he was crying. He was like, "Get me off of these!"
Yeah, there's a little boy that's
that's right. And then, you know, the first one that I looked at, not to single out any, but like I said, I ain't got a chance to look at all of them, but the pop, 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 and just talking about the number of unpopped kernels that you leave in the bag when you place them on the counter in the freezer, and then just in the microwave there. And now, you know, some things you never really think about. Now, I noticed that you have projects from kindergarten, and now how are these projects going to be determined about how would the winners be picked, Jack?
Well, we've got some great judges, and our science fair, in fact, I really want to make sure, first I mention our team, the science fair committee that does all the behind the scenes work, getting everything together, because there's a lot of detail work in putting on a science fair. Miss Nancy Mann is our 5th grade science teacher, kind of heads that group up. Miss Angela Oskinek, Angela Smith, Beth Dorr, Veronica Longshore, and Catherine Thompson. So that team comes together. They get all the materials together, get all the documentation that the kids need on how to put their projects together, and then they begin to contact judges. Now, our judges, they are not teachers here in the building. We want some folks that are able to come in. They don't have projects in it. They don't have children with projects in it. This year, we have some great folks: Mr. Richard Ennis, Larry Lybrand, Mary Lynn Childress, Cindy Jackson, Miss Olivia Meeks, Dr. David Fagundis, Jamie Bradfield, Mr. Tom Watley, Miss Peggy Pulver, and you, Mr. Alton West, are all judges for our science fair.
Absolutely. You know, as I stated, Jack, I was walking around and like, oh my gosh, you know, it's going to be a hard decision because there's some wonderful projects out here. Now, for the kids, you said earlier in your discussion that this is totally volunteerism
for them?
It
is a chance for the kids to get excited about science. We could put a requirement on it and say every child in this grade has to do one, but as we all know, different things reach different ones of us. I love music and the arts, and I love to sing and do things like that, and so anytime that opportunity presents itself, I'm very excited about it. But some kids who may be science or math kids, they need that chance to get out and show what they're interested in and show what they enjoy too. So that's really what the science fair is about, capturing that attention, letting that imagination and creativity come forward.
Absolutely. You know, science was I was fairly decent in science. You know, had it been a math quiz, something like that, I'd say, that's something that I can't deal with. But you know, when as I walk around and you know, see the projects there, and you see the kids, the hard work that they put into it, and you can definitely tell that they gave it some thought and consideration as to, you know, talking about the right paw, left paw with the cats there and stuff.
Well, what's also really neat is you'll see the kids that have done the projects, and they'll be watching other children see their work. That's a really neat thing. It's one thing to do a project, give it to the teacher grades it, and you get a grade back, but to be able to share work that you've done at home with your peers and see their reactions, to see, wow, you can walk on eggs, or wow, that cat does have a left paw, or wow, you can put this many marbles in a boat and make it sink. Or another one that's just tickled me, and I don't know if I should even tell folks about it, but they took a bar of ivory soap and put it in the microwave.
Oh.
It's an interesting thing. People need to come tomorrow night and see some of these things and see what the conclusion was on that one. That's a neat one.
Well, very good. And it is open to the parents and the public to come in and to view it here at Hollis.
We'll have a lot of folks here tomorrow night. Of course, they'll be viewing the science fair projects through the night. We'll also have, again, the barbecue. They'll be able to eat that here. We'll have some, the barbecue on sale, and we'll be selling some drinks as well. And then the book fair is open. Now, our PTO, I just can't say enough about Hollis Hands PTO and the way that they support us. They're sponsoring a book fair right now, and we've got some parent workers, and they'll be able to come down and again buy books. A lot of times they're buying books, of course, for their kids because they want to encourage that reading. But one of the things that our folks do a great job is helping the teachers, kind of that little book collection they have in the classroom, buying a few things for the classroom as well. Each teacher has a little wish list that they put up, and actually they put it up online. Technology is amazing.
Absolutely.
And it's just a great chance for the parents to help out the teacher a little bit with that sort of thing too.
Oh, very good, very good. So, and again, so they'll be here tomorrow night, and they can come around, and then the winners will be announced, I think, tomorrow night at the PTO meeting as well.
Probably about 7:15, we'll gather together in our auditorium, and we'll kind of celebrate what we've done, and we'll have a chance then, again, we'll be getting a grade level winner for each group, and they'll receive a certificate. Now, first, second, and third will receive ribbons in every grade. So that's going kindergarten all the way up through 5th grade.
Okay.
Then we'll get to the overall, and that could be a kid from kindergarten through 5th grade. In fact, last year, it was a 1st grader that won for their grade and then won the overall. So, you know, a 1st grader can do some amazing work just like a 5th grader can too.
Absolutely.
But anyway, we'll celebrate that, and then a trophy will be given to the 1st and 2nd place winner, and they'll get those gift certificates as well. So it's a really neat night. And again, is one of my favorite things is watching all of the children celebrate with each other. So all the kids will get a chance to come up on stage. We'll celebrate the projects that they did, and then we'll recognize the winners out of that group.
Absolutely. And you say, and then I understand there's a little monetary gift that comes along with it.
Well, you know, of course, you know, Walmart is huge in LaGrange.
That's right.
It's just like money there if you go to Walmart. But each grade level winner gets a $20 gift card. The 3rd place overall will get a $10 gift card. The 2nd place overall gets a $20 gift card. And then if you win the whole thing, if you're the overall winner, that's a $50 gift card. So in fact, last year, that 1st grader that won both for their grade level and also for their the whole school, that's $70 in toys they were able to go
there
buy at
you go.
Walmart.
Absolutely. And you know, for a little time and effort and just some thought, and you know, and our kids are amazing. You talked about technology just a moment ago, and you know, with the technology that is available to our kids today, you know, for them to research something is a whole lot easier than I was. It was for me when I was in school, though. So, you know, I'm looking forward to kind of just walking around and looking at the work that these young people have done and just giving it my whole, you know, heartily thought.
I love to think through the process. I love to think through what these children did with their parents to talk about their idea, to work it through, and really the time that it takes, because these aren't things that you can do in an afternoon most of the time. You've got to do these tests over a period of days, and you've got to put the work into it, and it's really not the tri-board that is the ultimate thing, you know, getting up and putting it, make it look pretty. It's all that work that goes in. And just think about the great connection that is with parents. So, you know, Be There is one of the big projects that we have in the school system. You know, the connection between the parent and the child. And this is really a moment where the parent is there, directly connected with their child.
Absolutely. Now, and we're talking about the projects, and it should be the idea of the child, and we want the parent to be there. How much involvement have you seen?
Well, there's a good balance. You know, a lot of times that some things are very involved and they need a good strong hand from the parent to help them, guide them through that process. Especially some of our younger ones, the parent will probably put a little bit more help into it than for like a kindergarten child. But as we see them move up, we really see actually all the levels, the children taking the ownership of it, that they are putting it together. Many of them already have computer skills and they can type things up and print them out and make them look really nice. The parents may have taken the photos and gotten those developed, but you know, ultimately it's the child's work we want to see with that extra input from the parent, because that partnership is what we really want to foster out of all of this.
Absolutely. And, you know, talking about Be There, and it's just good family time. The kid gets an idea, the parent gets excited about it to help them and encourage them along, you know, when they may run into a stumbling block. Well, Jack, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to be here for a little bit, kind of looking at some of the projects, and maybe get an opportunity to talk with some of the judges. And if we're fortunate enough, maybe you can bring down some of the students so we can get a chance to talk with them.
We'll see if we can do.
Okay. So we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll come back and be right here at Hollis Hand for more of City Week in just a moment, okay?
Awesome.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm still sitting down with Jack Mormon, the principal here at Hollis Hand School. With Jack, we had a few more questions I wanted to ask you before we moved on, maybe to kind of move around and look at some of the projects here that the kids have done. Now, and I'm one of the judges, and I looked at my scoring sheet.
Yeah, and you wanted me to explain it to you.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, you know, this fifth grade is just really difficult.
It is. Again, I mentioned Miss Nancy Mann and our team. They do such a great job of planning it. And involved in the planning is what are the criteria we're going to look at to judge these projects, because you know, a lot of times you walk up something and something is just so cute. There's some great pictures of a child and you think, that's the winner, that's the one I need to get to, but then you may not see good science there. Or you may see another project that is really good science, but they really weren't very creative. It was like they found a website and they just did the thing that was on the website and they printed it out. So what we were looking for is what are the characteristics of a good project. And so in the rubric or the little directions that we have for working with the judges, we break it up into two parts. The scientific procedure is the most important thing for us, because that's really what we're trying to teach the children, is that the scientific method. So there's a question for clear and specific question, clear and specific hypothesis. Did they do a step-by-step method of, you know, how they're going to do that? Is there data? Are there graphs? Are there tables? Are there pictures? Then do they have a conclusion that supports that data? And then does it relate back to that original hypothesis? Because sometimes they may have a conclusion that doesn't have anything to do with the original hypothesis. And then we let the judges kind of judge that along a frame of impressive, that's number 4, that's the best, to kind of adequate around the middle, or minimal, and that's the lowest. So it gives them a chance to give points to all of those. The second part of it, though, is that, I guess, that X factor almost, that creativity, and then the look of the different projects. So there's a creative approach to the topic. Did they do it a neat way? Did they have a neat title? There's it appears to be the work of the student. We talked a little bit about that in the other segment, that we want the children to be really the ones that are driving the project. Is it evident that they had the main hand in this and the parents were supportive? We want the parents to be a big part of it. We don't want them doing the whole project for them. Then appropriate materials and construction. Is it safe? Do they do a good job of displaying the whole thing? And then the clarity. You know, when you walk up to a science fair project, you don't want to have to figure it out. You want to be able to say, wow, okay, and then delve into the data. But usually by the first look at it, you get a good idea of, okay, this is about soap, or this is about a product, this is about popcorn, or this is about electricity. So as soon as you look at it, you get a good idea of, okay, that's what we're talking about, and then you really want to get into what was their problem, what was their procedure, and then what was their conclusion. But hopefully that walks the judge through all of those different things, and it's a tough thing. And it's not. Now, we'll take some pressure off you. It's not just you judging the ones that you're doing. We do have about 3 judges with each section. You'll have 3 judges with the kindergarten and first grade projects, 3 judges with the second and third grade projects, and then 3 judges with the fourth and fifth. So we take all of those scores together add them up, and then that's how we get our winners.
Okay.
So it's not just one person's opinion, but it's a good overall look. And again, I'm just so thankful to our judges. It's a great cross-section of folks that are helping us out. And if I could mention those one more time.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Richard Ennis, Mr. Larry Lybrand, Mary Lynn Childress, Cindy Jackson, Miss Olivia Meeks, Dr. David Fagundis, Jamie Bradfield, Mr. Tom Watley, Miss Peggy Pulver, who used to run the science fair process for us. She was one of our former teachers. And of course, you, Mr. Alton West. And it's just so great that these folks are willing to take their time, because it's involved. You don't just walk in and glance at it. You really need to look through and consider each one of these things.
Absolutely. And you know, Jack, I've always tried to be a community, service-minded individual, and then whenever I'm called, sometimes I don't know how to say no, but anytime it's something involving the children, as you well know, I know that your heart and your passion is for our kids, and as well as all your staff members here. But whenever we can give back and sow into the life of our children, we need to make that investment, because the song, I believe the children are our future.
Oh, sure.
It is so true. Well, not so much the future, but our children are our now, and we have to invest in them now. And I know that's one of the things that you all take pride in doing here.
That is our passion. People don't go into education because they want to get the big bucks.
That's right.
They go into because they want to take care of children. They want to see them inspired. And that, anytime you ask a teacher what is the most rewarding part of your job, it is that aha moment, that moment where the child realizes, I now know something that I didn't know before, and you have brought me to that place.
That's right.
And it's a wonderful process, and it's something that we get to see hundreds of times every day across the building. And this science fair is, again, kind of that science focus of that. And again, I mentioned this a little bit before, but that aha moment of the child visiting the science fair is also really powerful for me. It's just like if you go to a museum or you go to see an exhibit, you learn something from that. Every one of these over 65 projects will teach a lesson to the children of Hollis Hand. They'll get to learn something about science. And there's no way we'd have time to cover all these different things if you're doing it in the classroom. But just by walking through and seeing these projects and the parents, I've learned so much already. I may have to change light bulbs in my house. I've learned several things. I may be buying a new type of dishwashing detergent. There's lots of stuff that's here. But the kids are getting to walk through and see those things, and that's just become so powerful.
Absolutely. Now, Jack, how long will the display actually be up? Because I know that you're going to have the PTO meeting tomorrow night, and then you announce the winners. How long will they be up?
We'll keep them up throughout, of course, today. But the judges and classes will be going through. Classes will be going all through the day tomorrow, which is Thursday. Friday, we'll ask the parents to come by during the day and take those home. So by the end of the day Friday, they'll be cleared out. We'll be ready to, of course, we do have our holiday on Monday, so things will start back nice and clean down here on Tuesday.
Okay, very good. Well, and again, as I walked through, and just like you saying, I saw the one about the light bulbs. The regular 60 watt or 40 watt light bulb, and the new fluorescent light bulb. The energy saving there. And I was kind of shocked to see that, because we had that display down at City Hall not long ago, and you'd be surprised at the savings. Just small thing. I heard you mention about dish detergent. I have to get around to see that one as well.
There's so many other neat things. I've seen a child dip some paper towels in ink and watch how that soaked through, and the different colors that make up the black ink. Just watch that wash across. So it's from kind of an art focus inside of a science lesson. You've got so many really just neat creative things that kids have done. And it's just, it's their imagination, their creativity have become a big part of what the science fair is about.
Absolutely. Well, good. And I know that not only do you have the science fair, but you got the book fair that's going on. And I saw Miss Gina there.
Miss Gina Keys over there. She's heading up that book fair for us. And we've had just too many volunteers to name. I mentioned it before, but I want to mention it one more time. Our PTO is just remarkable in the way that they support us. They, through their time, through their volunteerism, they just take such good care of us. They make the teachers feel so appreciated. Let them know that they do appreciate the work that they do. As we have a classroom party or we're having an event like coming up with Science Fair, really the PTO puts together the Huckleberry's Barbecue and organizes that part. So they're just such an integral part of what we do. It is really the entire community that makes the school. It's not just the teachers, it's not just the children, but it is also our business partners, our school council, and of course our parents. That's just such a huge part of what we do. Absolutely.
Without all those coming together, I don't think we could pull off some of the things.
I wouldn't even want to think about what it would be like without that sort of involvement.
Absolutely. Well, Jack, I want to come back out and get the winners, so that we can showcase the winners as well, because I think this is a wonderful event, but if we don't spotlight our children as well, you know, to reward them. Even though I know they're going to get the certificates and the, you know, monetary gifts and everything, but we also want to make sure that we get them before the viewing audience too, so they can see them and get a chance to look at their projects as well.
We'll take some good pictures for you, so that
I appreciate it.
Maybe you'll even have a chance to come by and see some of the winners.
I guarantee I'll come back. Okay.
All right.
So I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to save a little bit of time so we can come back and get shots of the winners on Friday, perhaps, and then we'll have them showcased as well. Okay.
All right.
Jack, I want to thank you very much for allowing us to come in to Hollis
sir.
Hand and to take part of the science fair that's going on here. And I'm looking forward to looking at all the wonderful projects that you all have.
Great.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on the campus of Hollis Hand to talk with the overall winner from the science fair that we were visiting earlier this week. And the overall winner is Miss Ruthie Kelsey. Ruthie, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Ruthie, I know that you may be a little nervous, going to speak up just a little because you got a lot of people watching, okay? Now, your project here is Battle of the Bulbs. Talk a little bit about what Battle of the Bulbs is.
Well, you see this generator? You can put two and see which one brings up your energy bill.
Okay.
So like this one won because it was slower and it saved you much more money than the inconsistent light bulb.
Okay, so you have Battle of the Bulbs. You have two bulbs here, and this is your
Inconsistent.
And this one is your
Fluorescent
bulb. Now, I think you have a switch there, Ruth, and then you have here, what do you have here?
A meter.
All right, and if you turn that switch on, what are we going to see?
Well, the fluorescent doesn't take that much.
Okay.
See, on the meter, it's going so slow you can hardly see it moving.
Okay.
Okay, now let's look at this.
All
you
right.
can see that 10 times as fast as the other one.
Okay. Now, when this is turning faster, what does that mean, Ruthie?
Your energy bill is going up and you have to pay more money.
That's right. And so switch it back over to this one side for us, Ruthie. And we notice that it's turning much slower. So that equates to what?
Your energy bill is going to go down and you don't have to pay as much.
Not as much. So now let me ask you the question, Ruthie. Which type light bulb do you have in your home? You have this one in your home, Ruthie?
Yes.
Why do you have that bulb, though, Ruthie?
Because it's much brighter
It's
and you
brighter.
can see
Okay.
straight.
And that's important, too, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, Ruthie, we want to thank you very much for allowing us to come in and take a look at your project, Battle of the Bulbs. Now, let me ask you, did you have fun putting your board together?
Yes.
What was the thinking behind your colors here? Why did you pick out some of the colors that you have?
Because some of them they didn't pop out as much, like a lime green. You wouldn't be able to like read it. It'd be like,
Kind of
What
squinting
is
your
that?
eyes a little bit? Need that bright bulb, wouldn't you? Absolutely. Well, Ruthie, well, again, we want to thank you for sharing your project with us. And I know that a lot of people will now change from the incandescent to the fluorescent bulb because your project has helped us to learn that if we have this bulb, we're going to save on the utility cost. And I know you're going to change your bulbs too, right? Okay. Ruthie, thank you very much for being on the show with us today.
thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been Principal at Hollis Hand School, Mr. Jack Moorman. Also, we had the overall winner for the Science Fair, Miss Ruthie Kelsey. And I'd like to introduce to you before we close two other young men that won at the Science Fair that was taking place here at Hollis Hand. In the second place, we have the fourth grade winner, Mr. Deke Fagundes. And also for the third place, in the fourth grade, we have Mr. DJ Burt. So gentlemen, I want to say congratulations to both of you all as well. And the question that you all asked me, where are you going?
We're going to Walmart.
You're going to Walmart. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed our show this week. And as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.